SSU TV, and we're here again to do another Way Too Early Seahawks predictions. Matt Page, and we have here Abraham DeWeese. So I guess we'll start off by running down just a quick rundown of what we've already predicted this year, which we had the Rams. I guess we predicted
predicted the Rams would defeat the Seahawks.
Yes,
to start off the season.
Then we had the Packers, who we're going to win apparently.
Yep.
Then we had the Lions, who were also a win.
That's also going to be a win.
Okay, yeah. And then the Bears were also going to be a win.
Yep.
So right now we're projecting that going into Week 5. Now remember, this is a way too early projection. We're going to be 3-1 heading into Week 5, which is the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yes.
And that's on October 10th. And then later on, we're going to be covering the Carolina Panthers, which we're hosting here at home on the 18th.
Are you guys sick of watching the Panthers yet? Like, we have played them more than I think we've played the Cardinals and 49ers combined in the last 3 years.
It's getting a little old.
Getting a little tired of them.
Although this time we're actually hosting them. Instead of going
right.
there, which was getting old. Very, very old.
But we do get to see a team that we haven't seen in a long time, at least Seahawks fans have not. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, yes. So I'll talk a bit about their offense.
And I'll cover a little bit about their defense.
Just like we've been doing, yes. So as far as their philosophy on their offense side, they're going to try and engage a little more run first this year. Try and take that pressure off Andy Dalton. They don't want Andy Dalton throwing 40 passes a game. They don't want him throwing 30 a game, to be honest. They have Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard, who are two excellent running backs and can definitely do some damage. They've also made some moves to increase their offensive line in the draft. They picked up 2 quality tackles with their first 2 picks, and they re-signed one of their best guards on the line. And some of the key players that they have that we're going to have to watch out and be tough to defend against. Obviously, A.J. Green is probably the biggest threat on the board.
Wide receiver out of Florida University.
Florida University? Or University of Florida?
Whatever. He's the one that made Tim Tebow actually look good.
He is. He absolutely is. Andy Dalton, of course, will be thrown to him and is... Okay, he's not a top 10 wide receiver. Maybe a top 10 quarterback. He's not a top 20 or top 5.
I would say A.J. Green's a top 10 receiver.
A.J. Green, I'd put him in the top 5.
Okay, great.
Personally. He gets the separation. He's incredible. He's a home run threat at any time of the game.
So even if Andy Dalton's not a top 5, 10 quarterback, he still has A.J. Green to throw.
He still has some incredible... He has Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard to hand off to. He also has Mohamed Sanu, who was hurt a little bit.
Top 30 wide receiver.
Oh, no, he wasn't hurt a little bit. It was A.J. Green who got hurt a little bit, and Sanu had some struggles because he's not a number 1 guy, unfortunately. He doesn't get the separation that Green does.
No, but I would say he's a solid number 2.
He's a very solid number 2. Also, Tyler Eifert. He had a really bad sophomore season last year because he got hurt, but I expect big things from him in the future.
Rebound season?
He's definitely going to have a rebound season this year. On the as far as their strengths and time and again I keep hearing Andy Dalton is a GOAT. He's the reason why they're losing. The reality is he's the reason why they're getting into the playoffs, why they've been to the playoffs 4 straight times. And we know for damn sure this last playoff elimination definitely wasn't his fault. So we know he's dangerous. He's very good at what he does. He's not, like I said, he's probably not a top 10 QB, but he is very good. And with that running back tandem behind him, with the improved offensive line, with A.J. Green being out there somewhere in the Legion of Boom, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? They do have some weaknesses at depth at wide receiver. There's some question marks there. Then there is always a psychological impact. This is the last big group. A.J. Green becomes a free agent after this season. Andy Dalton will be within a year of free agency after the season. It'll be cap friendly to be cut. So there's a few other big names that might also be cut. So this is kind of the last shot for this core. And they do have 4 straight appearances in the playoffs, losing the first game every time. It's got to wear on you a little bit, So I don't know if that wears on you offensively.
Well, that seems to carry over with the defense. Now this is a top 15 defense. They are predicated on stopping the run. They run a base 4-3, and do an admirable job of stopping the run. They have some big guys. They have Geno Adkins up front, and they have Carlos Dunlap. Carlos Dunlap, in a shortened season, had 8 sacks. They have a really good linebacker named Vontaze Burfitt out of
Arizona State University.
Yes.
Where he got kicked off the team,
Where he got kicked off the team. And another guy who's a little bit of a troublemaker, at least in his past, Adam Jones, formerly known as Pac-Man Jones. Now, they're really good at stopping the defense, but one thing that they had issues with last year was stopping the pass. Their defensive back's a little bit old, Drake Kirkpatrick. Pac-Man Jones is getting up there. These are guys that, were good in their day, but they need to draft better to replace these guys. Their pass rush lacking. I think part of it had to do with Carlos Dunlap being gone and Geno Atkins having to be triple teamed every freaking play. Mental toughness carries over to their defense. They are not mentally tough. So the problems that they have in the offense mirrored on the defense. This entire environment on this team is a little flaky. Talent, A+. Yeah, I wouldn't say A+. How about A-? Let's go talent level A- to A level.
Execution.
Execution and internal fortitude. It's kind of down on that C- level. I take a look at this game, and I see that the Seahawks have the opportunity to pass all over this defense.
Yeah, they do.
But with Geno Atkins back and with Carlos Dunlap healthy, they should stop or at least limit the run game. But I don't think their linebackers are good enough to catch up with Jimmy Graham. And I think the aging receiving core, I think we're going to run circles around him. And I'm actually going to predict for this game that the Hawks go in there and win one. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout. I think the Bears, that's going to be a major blowout.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the unpopular decision as it was, I thought the Packers were going to blow them out too. But I think since he's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, but eventually their lack of mental toughness will be their undoing.
Fair enough. I also believe that the Seahawks will win, but I do have concerns with that. With that linebacker core and against our run defense against our rushing attack. With the loss of Unger on the line, there's some question marks on our offensive line. How effective can we be rushing wise? I do agree that the Jimmy is going to definitely going to make some spectacular catches against them and run circles around them. And I do believe that we will have no problem containing their offense. AJ Green might burn us for a touchdown, but I think that will probably be the limit of the damage as far as he's concerned.
Okay, so we're both guaranteeing Seahawks win.
Seahawks win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
It'll be shaky, but the week after that, the 18th, the Carolina Panthers come to Seattle, come to the Clink.
Yes, they do.
Now, you researched their offense a little bit. What'd you find out?
Well, they're basically going to go run heavy as they have in the past. They're trying to kind of get some new blood in at wideout, but they obviously don't have it yet all in place. Cam Newton is a dynamic rushing quarterback. He's crazy good at running. He's got an incredible cannon of an arm. He's an impressive athlete, and they like to get him involved in the run as well. However, they've lost D'Angelo Williams, and Jonathan Stewart did admirably, without him there, but ultimately Jonathan Stewart is their main guy, and he's just got too many miles on him, too much wear and tear. He's always banged up with some injury or another. And I have concerns about him being able to last the whole year, let alone against our defense. He'll just run up against the wall of our linebacker core and our defensive line. He'll just be destroyed. But that the whole goal of their game is to run first, run second, maybe run third, and then you might see a quick little dump pass here and there. But with Kelvin Benjamin definitely developing out there, and Greg Olsen at tight end, Cam Newton does have some targets, so there definitely will be some good
1,000-yard receivers last year.
Yeah, definitely will be some targets to them. As far as strengths and weaknesses on this team, there's obviously Cam Newton's legs and his arm, they are strengths. However, I have concerns about his decision making. He makes some bonehead mistakes. He'll throw too many interceptions, and I think the Legion of Boom will make him pay for it. Kelvin Benjamin, like I already mentioned, he's an incredible talent. He's coming along fast. He's going to do very well for them again this year. But when that's your only wideout, the Legion of Boom can definitely handle one wideout. They can shut him down. Richard Sherman will just cover him, and that'll be that. You won't hear from him again. The other, like I mentioned, the backfield. They have Jonathan Stewart, but they don't have much else. Behind that, they have Fozzie Whitaker, and they have Mike Tolbert at fullback, and they have the running back out of Auburn that they drafted this draft. Generally, there's just not a lot of depth there. There's a couple players there with too much tread on their tires and too many injury questions. They did pick up a wide receiver in the draft, Devin Funchess, but I don't predict him to have an impact in our game at all. I think we'll be able to hold him back. And the other strength, the one last strength I did note, was that they only have to play Seattle once this year.
That's got to be nice for them.
Well, I don't predict them to go to the playoffs. So yeah, we won't see them again.
So I took a look at the defense. They're the number 10 defense. They've been in the top 10. They're one of 3 teams to have been in the top 10 for the last 3 years. Hawks and the 49ers are the only other ones to do so. Why? Because Riverboat Ron Rivera, former 1985 Bears linebacker, emphasizes defense. Absolutely. He's not running the 4-6 defense, but he's running his own kind of modified 4-3 hybrid, just pretty much like all the other teams are starting to do these days. This is predicated off of all-world linebacker Luke Kuechly and amazing sidekick Thomas Davis. I would call him the best 1-2 punch of linebackers in all the NFL. Mm-hmm. Again, they took this team to a top 10 defense, and that's from a team that wasn't getting any offense for the last 3 years. So they're doing well statistically, and they carried this team to the playoffs last year. Of note, former UW linebacker Shaq Thompson was drafted this year. He will be their weak side linebacker and nickel, at least according to some of the publications that I've seen. And we should see him hopefully make an impact. I don't think we'll see him as a running back though. But where the team is really strong is again that run defense predicated off of their linebacker play. Where there's potential weakness would be the DBs. They gave the Hawks all they could handle in the playoff game last year, but they're getting older. We should take some shots down the field. We can use some of our speed guys like this Tyler Lockett guy, and get Jimmy over the middle on the seam routes and bust those seams. Pass rush is average, so there'll be time. Wilson can extend the play. That won't be a problem. That's what we saw last year against the Panthers. Well, I guess it's prediction time. I see blowout.
Yeah,
I think we're going to blow these guys
I'm with
out.
you too. They're not the team they were last year or the year before, and get the team that gave us trouble. And I definitely see us blowing them out.
Definitely a team that only had 5 draft picks and very few free agent acquisitions.
Very few.
I don't. You need to bring people in, Panthers.
Yeah.
If you're going to try to increase that competition level and get people to.
When if you're going to build a run offense, you need running attack. You need running players.
Actual running backs. Yes. You need actual additions to your line. They have one All-Pro offensive lineman. I forgot his name, but they need more.
You need 5 of them. You don't need one.
Yeah. Or you go with one All-Pro lineman and then 4 other really good line.
Yes.
That you need that kind of Dallas offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that even though the Seahawks don't follow that mold.
No.
But I'm not even certain how they're doing it. They're going more scheme based. The Seahawks are, but they might have a little problem running on the Panthers. But we're going to be. You might see Wilson throw it 35 times in the game.
That would be a rare sight to see, but we definitely might see it. So that's it for us here at SSU TV. Matt Page, and this is Abraham Lewis. See you soon.